Parents Helping Parents is a nonprofit, parent-directed organization that provides services, resources, and support for children with special needs along with the families. One of the many workshops is called SibShops, which is a much-needed program just for brothers and sisters of a sibling who has a special need. Our host, Donna Yeager, visited the San Jose Parents Helping Parents office to watch one of the SibShop sessions. And today we will discuss the SibShop goals with Zoe Folger and Deena, who facilitate many of the Parents Helping Parents programs. Now, here's Donna.
Hi, I'm Donna Yeager with On the Move, and I'd like to welcome our special guest, Deena. Welcome, Deena.
Thank you so much, Donna.
And Zoe Folger. Welcome, Zoe.
Thank you, Donna.
Zoe, tell us officially what a little bit about Parents Helping Parents.
I would be happy to.
Yeah.
So Parents Helping Parents started in the 1970s, just so long ago, as really just a beginning of a kind of a newsletter for parents in the Santa Clara County who had children with special needs. It was founded by Florine Poyadu and Mary Ellen Peterson, and they really started it from the ground up as two moms of children with special needs. And from there, it blossomed into, it's what, a 30-plus person organization today. And we are doing incredible work. So we came from humble beginnings.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And Deena, how many years have you been working for PHP?
Actually, I've been an employee for almost 2 years, but I actually started as a volunteer at the front desk. Worked my way up.
Wonderful. That's terrific.
Yeah, I love working for PHP. Wonderful, wonderful people to be around.
Yeah, yeah. And Zoe, how about you?
About 3 years in June.
All right.
Yes, and it's been a great experience, a huge learning experience.
Yeah,
too.
really, really. Well, what is your official title there?
Family Resource Specialist.
Oh, okay, great, very good. And how about you, Zoe?
I wear many hats. I'm a bilingual family resource specialist, hablo español, and I'm a workshop coordinator.
Oh, wow.
And I also dabble in our mental health department as well.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I love the logo because when you look at the photograph of it, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, it means open hands, you know, and kind of greeting everyone and welcoming everyone.
Right.
And actually, I have been involved and been asked to speak a couple times at Parents Helping Parents through the years. So
that's wonderful.
It's a great organization.
Yeah. Really open hands, open heart.
Exactly, that's right.
Honestly, I cannot say enough good things about the organization.
Yeah, yeah.
They just help so many people and such caring people that work there.
Right, right.
It's like, it's really your life. It's really who they are as people as well. It's not a job to us.
Yeah.
Right.
We really, really feel from our hearts, and we really care about helping others.
Right. And what's really neat too is the location is so convenient. It's right off of 280 and Meridian.
Yes, right.
And it's just right there. And the building itself is very accessible. And wonderful handicap parking spaces, but the building itself is just beautiful, very pretty.
It really is.
Yeah, it's
very
great.
fortunate.
And the entrance is lovely. There's like a receptionist right there, and they're very, very helpful. They open the doors for you and greet you, and they can, you know, help you into the actual Parents Helping Parents location, which is right there.
Right through those front doors to the left.
Amazing. It's wonderful. Yeah, because the photograph of the building is very pretty, you know, so it's really very impressive.
We're very privileged.
And a lot of the nonprofit organizations are all in that building, right?
Yes,
8 or
they
9.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so we're all connected.
That's wonderful. And you could probably share ideas, you know, having people right there too.
Sure. Or sometimes we'll make referrals, say, well, they're right upstairs, make a right.
Wow.
And oftentimes we'll have a breakfast where all the members of the building gather.
Really?
And we have a breakfast.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's quite nice, and we have a beautiful cafeteria.
Yeah.
We meet in the cafeteria.
Oh wow, that's marvelous. That's terrific.
We do a lot of good in that
It's a
building.
nice community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the flowers are so pretty right at the entrance there.
Yeah, I
Very
love it.
pretty. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, and it seems like a very open and welcoming location there. Very nice. Really.
Yeah.
It's easy, and the parking is great. With the accessibility.
lots.
Yeah.
Huge
Wow.
parking lots.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, is there another one around?
There's one in the front and one in the back.
Yes.
Oh,
And a
I didn't
lot
know
of
about the back.
room.
Yeah, the back one is the huge one.
Wow, really?
Yes, and it's actually been full many times lately.
Well, I've been very fortunate. Every time I've gone to the front one, there's a couple handicap spots right there available.
Wow.
So.
Right.
I'm glad you haven't had
Very
any
lucky.
problems.
But that's good to know that there's more parking in the back.
Yes, in the rear.
Oh, get it? More
If
parking.
needed.
I thought more park. I park more.
Oh.
You can park more when you
Don't
go around
confuse
the
us
back.
with more park.
Exactly. Right. But you can park more. There's more. Wait, no. There's
Park
whatever.
more in the back.
You can park more if you drive to the back. Anyway, trying to be clever, whatever.
Play with words, Donna.
So, anyway, and then so when we actually went into the building, the library is awesome. It's really fantastic. The last time I was there, it was not as large as it is now. So.
Right, and it's always expanding. And now we have our resource
Yeah.
library online with the full catalog, so you can browse, see if we have anything in stock.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we're slowly phasing out of VHS, though.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
final transition to the
That's
digital
right.
age.
We also let people that are members check out 5 books at a time, and they get to keep them for 3 weeks. And if you're a
Wow.
non-member, you get to take 2 books.
Or items. We have
Or
videos
items, that's
and
true.
toolkits.
Oh my God.
We have some bilingual communication toolkits for families with children with speech and language concerns.
Oh my God.
So they can take that home if they're a member and use it at home. It's wonderful.
We have a great librarian. Her name is Judy.
She's very sweet.
She's always happy to assist, help people find what they're looking for.
Wow. And there's nice tables and chairs there
Right.
for people.
So you can come in and sit and work.
Yeah.
We have some meeting rooms where people can actually use the computer if they need to.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And we also have a parent resource room where they can help themselves to any resources they find within the room that they're interested in taking home with them.
Wow.
And they have it in Spanish, Vietnamese, and English.
Right.
Wow.
And the convenient thing is, since we're in this wonderful, huge building, we have about 3 main training rooms. And we use some of the communal rooms for most of our trainings and workshops. So it's all in one place.
Oh my gosh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
And tell us more, Deena, about the SibShop.
Well, the SibShops we have is for kids 8 to 12 years old,
Yeah.
and it's for the siblings of the children who have special needs.
Right.
Oftentimes, those children feel like life isn't fair, that everything revolves around their sibling with the special needs.
Right.
So we have a program that we offer once a month, except for July and August, and it's for kids 8 through 12 years old who would like to come and have a grand old time. And we always have a craft, we have games, we have a pizza party for lunch, and then we have a circle time. And the circle time usually consists of myself running that, or we have a licensed marriage family therapist that often comes to lead circle time. And that's the time that they get to talk about issues relating to their own experiences with issues they're having with their siblings or with their parents related to their siblings. But what stays in the circle, well, what I meant to say is what they say in the circle doesn't leave the circle.
That's good.
And the kids feel very safe, and they can't wait to get their turn at talking. When it's my turn to lead the circle, when the therapist isn't there, I usually have the kids write down a few questions ahead of time, kind of secretly, and I'll randomly pick them.
Right.
And then we'll, bring them up, and the child, the peers will, answer the questions related to them. And most of the time, their hands are up all the time wanting to say something. They love the craft time because most kids love arts and crafts. And we do that so because in the background, that's when they start talking. It really isn't about the great creative art project they come home with. It's all about what goes on in the background while they're making it and how they're sharing things and how they're all doing the same exact project, but they come out so differently and so creative. It's just amazing, the talent.
Oh my gosh,
Incredible.
Yeah.
And the detail of a lot of the drawings.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
I mean, I'm still doing stick figures. These kids are way younger than me, and they're already mastered what I probably have never accomplished yet. I don't have their gifts.
Their creativity is really amazing. It's
really
wonderful.
And then they like to play the games, and they love to get rid of their excess energy running around outside for a while playing tag or other games that we've developed over the years. And oftentimes, the pizza really unites them because they just can't get enough of that. They love it.
Really?
I guess pizza is supposed to be the favorite food of America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's very true for them.
Yeah, that's good.
But I love doing it. I love and new kids come all the time, and we really encourage the folks at home that if they have any children between 8 and 12 and they have a sibling that has special needs, to let your kid experience what it's like being with kids that get what they're going through, and they don't make fun of them, and they understand, and it's kind of like a support group for children.
Yeah. Well, what was also interesting at the beginning of the get-together with the kids is that there were rules that you read, and they really were very respectful of those rules. And I mean, they weren't like unruly, or they were really very controlled and they were very respectful of each other. So
yeah, I found over the last several months as I've been running SibShops for a little over a year, and every time has been a new challenge for me. But I realized lately with starting off with the rules really gets them on track. And all you got to do is give them a look, and they'll know that they're not raising their hand or they're interrupting somebody else, and they know that's not respectful. Oftentimes they'll stop it in the bud.
Exactly.
And then the child that's on, that was talking can finish their sentence in peace. And I like that part about it.
Definitely, yeah. Well, Zoe, when I met you the other day, the location, it's like the administrative area, right? And the hallways were nice and wide, and we took a picture of that because it's just very impressive how really wheelchair accessible it is for someone in a wheelchair, and or maybe somebody who has to use a scooter. Scooters are even more difficult to do U-turns and stuff.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Really good to know.
Yeah, and same at the library, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because the library was very accessible for wheelchairs and scooters and people who have walkers, and,
Yeah, I think they've got everything set up for all those areas.
Make it as accessible as we can.
Yes.
And both with the physically accessible and with language barriers, having Spanish, Vietnamese speaking staff. We have one staff who speaks, this is her alone, English, Arabic, Italian, French, and a little bit of Spanish. She's amazing.
Wow.
Just to hear her speak is incredible.
I had no idea she spoke that many languages. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Mona Ron.
Yes.
Man.
She's fantastic.
That's impressive.
Really impressive.
Yeah.
We really try to accommodate the folks at home so they feel comfortable when they call. We can understand what they're saying and their needs, their culture. And that makes a big difference.
Yeah. That's not easy, though. There's a lot of languages out there.
Well, we do the best with what we...
With the tools we have, exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
And also in the library, there's an area where there are like literature and free brochures that people can take. And that's also in Spanish and English, which is, I'm sure, very helpful for a lot of people.
And that way, if people walk in and they're browsing, they might walk over and see, oh, I have materials I can read in my language and feel at home.
Yeah.
We also when parents call in and they have a baby that has a special need, we also send them a baby blanket that's been donated by people that either do quilt making or they crochet or they knit.
Wow.
And we really like to take care of the family. It's really a hard time for them, so it's something special we can send to them and let them know we're there for them.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it really is.
Nice.
Right, and that's connected with our prevention program. So for families who have children who don't qualify for early intervention or early start, the 0 to 3 program, they can still get support and information from us so that they don't feel so isolated and confused about what next steps to take. So I think getting that blanket is just such a nice welcome and just a comfort in that sometimes tumultuous time.
Yes.
And Zoe, your group that you help and you support are older people.
Correct.
Siblings, brothers and sisters of people with disabilities of different types. And so you said that usually you have a speaker that comes in to talk about different topics, right?
I would say periodically, yes. And we really like having that because there are so many things we want to talk about. And with so little time, it's just an hour and a half once a month, fourth Saturday of the month. So, last month we were so fortunate to have someone who specializes in special needs trust and the financial aspect of preparing for the future. Or we had someone who was an expert in grief, so talking about the more emotional aspect of things. Really lucky.
That's amazing.
I can't believe all the offerings at Parents Helping Parents. If you just go to our webpage, which is www.php.com, on the right-hand side, there's the events coming up, almost like attractions, but and daily by date, it will tell you what we're offering, and it goes on and on and on. And it also has advocacy workshops, conservatorship workshops, Social Security. It lists our SibShops. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's something for everybody there, really.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really
I feel so good when we can refer people to that and
Yeah.
let them know. I mean, they can take control in their own hands about what will work into their own schedule.
Right.
And we also have a section and they can do searches as well, but we offer groups, we offer support groups, we offer all kinds of resources they're looking for on site.
And we do our best to offer them in multiple languages. So there's a workshop that I do called Sharing the Journey. That's a 6-week series offered 5 times a year, twice in English, twice in Spanish, and once in Vietnamese.
Wow.
I'm not so talented to do the Vietnamese one, but I do the Spanish and English.
Great.
And that's for families who've recently gotten a diagnosis for their child. And it's so important that they have that support when they're in the throes of this new experience. And I really, really love that part of my job.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so valuable. And then, there are public benefits trainings on SSI, and in-home supportive services are offered in English and Spanish. We have trainings about the IEP process. So we do our best to make it accessible.
We also
you guys wear many hats.
Tell me about it.
We also have parent coffees that are once a month, and that's anybody's free to come.
And that's in Spanish too.
I didn't even know they had a Spanish one. Anyway, the parent coffees are wonderful for especially new parents to come, meet others, and get more supports from the people that have been there, gone that route. And it just goes on and on.
Wow, that's amazing. And so you also were, when you invited us over to the location in San Jose, the book that you were telling me about was really interesting. We have a picture of the book itself. And it looks like it's really informative and very helpful.
And it was something that I just received recently as a Christmas present from my dear mother. And Don Meyer wrote it, co-wrote it, and he was the founder of SibShops.
Oh my
gosh. He writes from...
it's upside down.
Upside down.
He writes... You hold it on the table.
From...
kind of angle it down.
So this is for the, just to educate individuals who are interested in starting SibShops for the 8 to 12 crowd.
Okay, thank you.
And this book is geared toward adults. So like in my group, I think the youngest we've ever had was a 17-year-old. Right now we're all in our 20s. We've had some 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. So it's a nice mix. And it's kind of our guide to planning for the future and balancing our lives with those of our aging parents and our siblings. So really great book.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Well, and any information that people can read about is so helpful. And, because I think sometimes when you go to a support group, you're just so overwhelmed with not only your feelings, but then you're listening to other people's feelings and experiences. It's like, wow. It's kind of nice because they're not alone. They don't feel alone anymore, which is wonderful, And at the same time, they're probably networking a little bit of, how they navigate, how other people are navigating through this,
And it's really interesting because I kind of am unique in that I have a brother with special needs, so I'm not just the facilitator of SibShops. I get something out of it. For adult Sibs, I really feel like I'm getting that support, and it's different from when I facilitate sharing the journey. So I get to get a little help too.
That's a win-win.
That's wonderful. That's fantastic. And then let's go back to the kids, Deena, because
I wanted to mention this book because this is kind of like the Bible of SibShops, and we're always looking for more people to start SibShops. And when I got my training, it was directly from Don Meyer, the founder of SibShops, and he offers trainings all around the U.S. And I happened to go to one in Santa Cruz. And it wasn't until then that I realized the true importance of SibShops. I got it because they actually brought in other siblings that were siblings of special needs kids. And they sat in a panel and they talked about what they got out of SibShops when they were little. And here they were grown-ups now, and how important the SibShops were to them as children going through it themselves. And I had no clue just what I was really getting into when I agreed to do this. I didn't really get what the purpose was. But when you saw how many lives it really touched, it just added to the meaning of the whole thing. And it just made me want to do such a really good job each month because I know one day they're going to be talking about it when they were kids and they came, and they're going to remember me, hopefully, in a positive way.
But it's wonderful that one of the questions that you asked was, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? And one of the little girls said, I love spending time with my family and my brothers and sisters, and especially my special needs, family member, because, they just love interacting and making them happy and making them laugh. It's like, wow, that's cool. It's wonderful.
One time I asked them what their biggest worry was. If you can believe this, they're 8 to 12-year-olds, which college they were going to get into.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my God, it starts that young? I wouldn't think they'd even be thinking about it then. No pressure at all. And I thought, oh, we haven't even made it through elementary school yet. And they already knew what they wanted to be when they grew up. That was really shocking.
Well, actually, I attended another get-together through, not through Parents Helping Parents, but it was through another church-related situation. And I was amazed at how many kids were autistic. And I'm kind of thinking, and I was a Sunday school teacher many, many years ago, and even the kids back then in the 70s and 80s, nobody talked about it back then. They were just kind of hyperactive, or they had too many hot dogs the night before. I don't know.
I also think there wasn't as much information and data out, and there weren't. Now it's really such a huge number of kids on the autism spectrum. So there's agencies, SF Autism Society, Autism Speaks, just devoted to help and support those families.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I noticed too in the SibShops when we go around asking what their brother or sister's condition is, I would say probably 75% are autism, and it's usually a brother.
Right, yeah.
I was really surprised how many males versus females have autism. So.
I would say that's true for adult SIBs as well. The main players who are the devoted SIBs, myself included, we all have brothers with autism. But with that said, you know, at Parents Helping Parents, we serve such a spectrum, such a gamut of different disabilities. So everything from autism to ADHD, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, learning disabilities, you name it.
Well, and also the information in the library. I want to go back to that for a couple minutes, Zoe, because it's amazing all of the resources that really are available. And I mean, can it be anyone coming off the street, or do they call first and make an appointment, or how does that work?
Great question. Well, we're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and people are welcome to walk in and browse our library. And we have a refundable deposit system, so you'll either do our check or credit card, and only if you never return will we actually cash the check or charge the card. And so it's for 2 weeks. You can, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks, you can check out any item from the library if you've done the deposit. And if you're a member, you get 5 items. If you're a non-member, it's 2. And it's just $50 a year to become a member. So that's one of the great
Why don't you tell us what the phone number is and that address?
Yes. So we're 408-727-5775. You can call me anytime. Extension 187. And we're located at 1400 Parkmore Avenue, Suite 100, within the Sobrato building. And you come in through the front, and we're on the left-hand side, the first store.
San Jose, right?
Yes, San Jose.
San Jose, California.
95126.
Wow. She's good. Thank you so much
Thank
for joining
you
us.
so much, too. It was more than a pleasure.
Thank you.
How about that?
It really was.
And thank you so very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Donna Yeager with On the Move. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.
We're on the move. We're striking out to set the pace. We all can choose to make a difference. Our time is overdue.
I'm doing a
We
workshop
collect our dreams, take them on the move. We're rolling and we're walking, but we're not sitting still. There's a world of adventure to explore. We're signing and we're talking from New York to Brazil, from Canada on out to Singapore. We're on the move to make this world a better place. We're on the move, we're striking out to set the pace. We all can choose to make a difference. Our time is overdue if we collect our dreams, take them on the move.